Hi, kindergarten. Welcome back to step 3 of our Jeff Koons inspired art project where we are making a balloon animal dog. I hope you guys didn't have too much trouble last week with painting your balloon animals. I had showed you guys those two different techniques, but of course, if you don't have a certain material that I show you, you are always free to kind of use what you have at home. This week, we are going to be creating a background for our balloon animal. So you are going to need a new piece of paper. So whatever kind of paper you have at home, I just have like white printer paper. And then I'm going to use crayons a little bit, and then I'm also going to use paint. But again, if you don't have certain materials, um, you can obviously use what you want. You can use that marker painting technique that I showed you, or you can always feel free to email me with some options. Um, but honestly, whatever works for you, okay? So, I'm going to press play and you can see I have a white crayon, I have a yellow crayon, and I'm just creating some sort of background for my balloon animal. And you don't need to make it exactly the same as mine. Um, I wanted mine to be kind of like a sky, and I didn't really want to have any ground showing because I wanted it to look like it was kind of floating in the sky. Um, but obviously you guys can kind of add what you want if you want to draw a tree, flowers, um, any like real animals, go for it. But so if you look on my screen, I drew a sun. Right now I'm in the process of drawing clouds. And the reason why I'm using crayon is because I'm going to paint over all of this after. Um, and so if you remember, even if you use white, you can't see it on your white paper, but when you paint over it, it will show up. And so you'll be able to see once I kind of get to my painting, but I'm just drawing out a sun and some clouds. And I was trying to keep mine simple, but you guys can kind of draw what you want, okay? And then I'm using watercolor paints. Again, you can kind of use what you want. Um, and you can also paint this background whatever colors you want. I was doing like blue, purple, red sky. I want it to kind of all blend together, but you guys can be as creative as you want. Maybe it's a nighttime sky and you have the moon and some stars. Maybe you have some planets, some shooting stars. Definitely get creative with it, all right? And so I was just kind of blending from red to purple to blue, filling up the whole paper. And you can also see my clouds now that I painted over them. So again, that's why I chose a white crayon. Um, and yeah, so then I'm going to set this aside to dry because it is pretty much the way I like it. It's all painted. I probably could have gone in and made my colors a little bit brighter, but this is what I wanted. And again, yours does not need to be exactly like mine. You guys can be as creative as you want with yours. Um, so then I'm going to show you guys the next step, but you're going to have to wait until this is dry, okay? So I'm going to pull up this video. And so here we have our finished project from last week, our balloon animal dog. And you guys have had a lot of experience with cutting this year using scissors. This is going to be pretty tricky because some of you guys probably have really thin black lines, but our goal is that we're cutting out our balloon animal from this white paper, okay? So make sure that you are working really slow. You're turning your paper and your scissors and cutting right on that black line, and we're trying to cut off all of the extra white paper that is attached. Um, you guys know that there's no race in cutting out things on your paper. You cut nice and slow, take as much time as you need. But your main goal is to really try to get off that extra white paper. So even if you have little pieces of white paper attached, go back and cut them out. All right. And so you can see I'm just kind of working my way, taking my time. I'm going to fast forward this because it's just me cutting it out. Careful not to cut off the tail or the little nose. And then at the very end, if you look, this is what my balloon animal dog looks like. I'll go back so you can see it kind of flat. Um, and so depending on what you drew for your background, and maybe this will be good that you can see it kind of all finished before you start your actual background, your dog might cover something. So if you drew a flower in a certain area on your paper, your dog might cover it. Um, If you drew grass, that's totally fine. Again, I wanted mine to kind of look like it was floating around in the sky. Um, and then you can kind of glue it as you want. I was just kind of gluing mine straight on my paper, but if you want to tilt yours up diagonal, have a little bit going off your paper, you can be as creative as you want with it. So I'm just flipping it over, and again, my paper is dry. I waited for this to dry until I'm actually gluing it on, because we can't glue on a wet paper. So just at the bottom of the screen, I know you can't really see, but I'm just gluing the back of my balloon animal dog. I'm pressing it on lightly because I don't want to smudge anything, and then I flip it over and I rub the back of my paper, and that helps kind of make it stick and secure a little bit better without ruining the front of my paper. And then at the very end, this is what it looks like. And you could always go back if you look at this, like I'm looking at mine now, and I feel like this is a really big open space where maybe I could have added like another cloud, a bird, maybe something. Maybe I could have added grass if I wanted to. Uh, but yeah, you guys can kind of go back, and just because you painted on it doesn't mean you can't go back and draw more on top of your painted project. Okay. Um, this was our last step of the project, so I will need to see a picture taken, either posted on the Google Classroom assignment or emailed to me. I cannot wait to see them. I hope you guys had fun with this project, and I will chat with you next week. All right, bye.